this video, what we are going to do is I want to show you how to create a Lambda function from an existing Lambda function. So let's say you already have an existing Lambda function. Maybe it's in a different account or from backup, and you need to create a new Lambda function. So this video is going to show you how to do that. So the first thing, of course, you will have to have done is have a Lambda function already available. So I'm just going to show you how that works really quickly. So I'm going to go into my AWS Management Console and click on Lambda. Once I'm in Lambda, it'll show me all of my functions. Now, of course, in this case, this is the account that I want to put it in, but if I go to any of these functions, you will find when you're in Lambda, looking at a specific function, you do have the ability to export it. So if you go to Actions and drop down the Actions menu, you'll be able to see Export Function. And when you choose to export the function, you'll be given two options. One is the AWS SAM file, and the other is to download the deployment package. So if you download the deployment package, you'll get a zip file, and that zip file will basically be your Lambda function that you can import later on. So I'm going to start from that point where I will have already had a function downloaded, and now I'm going to create a new function in a new account to represent that. Okay, so I'm going to start by going into Lambda, selecting Create Function. In this case, I'm going to create an evergreen health skill. So I'm going to call my function evergreen health. I already have a role defined, but you can basically create one if you don't already have one. I created my role from a template just to provide access to Lambda. Once this is built, it will then ask me to assign this function to a skill. But before it does that, I need to define the skill trigger. So you can see here it says, congratulations, your Lambda function evergreen health has been successfully created. You can now change its code and configuration. Then click on the test button to input a test when you're ready to test out the function. That sounds great. So now before I begin, I need to assign evergreen health a trigger, which is what will cause it to be invoked. And that will be my Alexa Skills Kit. When I select the Alexa Skills Kit, it's going to say configuration is required. I'll scroll down and it'll ask me for a skill ID. So I need to go over to my developer portal, and you'll need to sign in. And you'll notice here I have a live skill, and that live skill has a skill ID. There also, which eventually I'll need to go into this to update the new ARN, but I can click on this, it'll present me the skill ID, and I can copy and paste that into the Lambda function. I'll choose Add. And now in order to update the code, I will go into Evergreen Health. So I click on this function up here, and now you'll notice I can either start writing the code directly in the browser through the Cloud9 interface, which is awesome, or because I already have it, I could either upload it from an S3 or upload it from a zip file. I happen to have the zip file locally, but I also have it in S3, so I could use either option. All right, so now I'm going to choose Upload. It's going to open up a window. I'm going to look for Evergreen Health. There it is. So I select that zip file. I then select Save. I keep everything else the default, though. If I knew that this was a heavy-hitting skill that required more RAM or more resources, I could scroll down here and update those accordingly, right? But I don't, like if I needed a VPC or a special networking situation. So now, once I've updated that and I save it, you'll see this turns to green. This is green. Everything's great. So now I just need to grab that ARN to update it in my skill in the developer portal. So I'm going to highlight the ARN here, copy it, and then go over to my developer portal. Click on Edit in my development version of this skill. Go to Configuration. and then and just update this ARN. Control A, Control V, and hit save. You'll notice it says it's a global field. So what that means is that that ARN will be true for all of the different languages that I'm deploying this skill to. You'll see I have India, Canada, Australia, and the UK. And so now I'm going to go to privacy and compliance. Because it's gray, it indicates that I need to make another decision here. So it'll say, does this skill contain advertising? I will say no, say save. As soon as that happens, it should let me submit for certification. Now, what I'm going to do in order to prepare the certification team for the kind of change that I just made is go into the publishing information section and just change this to updated ARN, just so they know. Again, they're still going to validate it. They're still going to run it through certification testing. But this just gives me the ability to ensure that, or just give them a heads up as to what might have changed. It's kind of nice of you to do that. I'm just going to check. These are all the different questions you can ask this skill. If I have Grammarly, which I encourage you guys to use if you don't already, that just tells me when I've not used great grammar. So in this case, there's 6 areas that need help. Interesting. So wheelchair is probably one word. Makes sense. I'm just going to scroll all the way to the top and see if there's any red. Nope. All right. Scrolling down. Oh, I think I needs to be capitalized. Makes sense. Easy enough. Let's see. Who is taking of my baby? Interesting. Care of my baby. Whom? Who do I ask if I have questions? Should be whom. Interesting. Whiteboard's probably supposed to be one word. See if there's only one left. Yep, that's it. I'm going to leave it like that because I'm pretty sure I do not have the word whom defined in my interaction model, though maybe I should, right? Maybe I should be grammatically correct. So I'm going to take this, copy it, Control C. I'm going to save this as it is, save. And I'm going to go to my interaction model. Oops. And I'm just going to add that to my utterances, in addition to the who. Oh, I guess I should have just created a new one then. I'll leave it. So if I go into my specialized intent, which will show up in just a second. Any second. There it is. I'm going to and there I go. Enter. There we go. List of items. Let's see if question is in there. Questions. There it is. Alright, so I need to pass that in as a parameter. So I'm going to go back to my intent. And there it is. There. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to save the model. Build the model. And there it is. Let's go to publishing. Look, all that has been done. So I'm going to go to, I'm in publishing information. It'll update in just a second. And I think this is where we saw those updates. Control C. It should show green. So now I'll go to India. Now here's something cool that I don't know if you guys knew. When you go to each one of these different languages, the testing tab or section actually provides you Alexa's voice in that language. So now I'm going to Control A, Control V, and then save it. Now if I want to test it, and I'm in India English test, I can say in the simulator, service simulator, open Evergreen Health, and I hit ask, it'll show me my service response. But then I could say listen.
Welcome to Evergreen Health. You can ask a question like, tell me about the nurse call button or in-room dining. Now, what can I help you with?
Awesome, right? Anyway, so it also lets you modify the endpoint. So let's say you had a different endpoint you were testing on. You could change that. Anyway, very cool. Okay, so I think we're good. Green, green, green. Oh, I'm going to go in and update, like paste in that description because it's a unique piece of data for each skill. So that's in the publishing information. I'm now in Canada. So you can test out Canada, Australia, UK. If you had German, you could test out the German language. It's really cool. So that's here. I'm going to say A, V, and then save, and then I'm going to go to English. Okay, but I did save. Okay, there we go. That's all. So I'm going to go to English, Australia. I'm just going to do it for each one, and then I'll submit for certification. Scroll down. Oh no, right here. Control A, Control V. And save. And finally view game. Control A, Control V. Save. Now I think I am ready to submit. Right, so the idea here is that I didn't change anything really, except I built a new Lambda function, imported the code for that function. Here's another nifty thing that happens when you do that. When you import the code and you click on it, you can see down here that it actually, based on this new browser, imported all the code here. This is new. We used to not be able to do this, and it's awesome. So I can edit. Let's say I wanted to add some new recipes or add some new options. I can do that now. Or let's see, if I open it up, it'll open a new tab. Right? So here's all the different things. Somebody says cafeteria. Here's what Alexa's going to respond with. If they say cafe, here's what Alexa's going to respond with, right? So if I come up with new ones, I can edit it right in the browser. Before, I had to edit it separately, zip it up, import it. It was way more trouble. So this new environment is awesome. I absolutely love it. Anyway, so really cool options to edit your code once you have it in line. So in this case, I imported it. I now can validate it by looking at it. everything's set. I grabbed the ARN, I applied the ARN to this new skill, and then went in and made a couple changes to accommodate all the languages, and now I'm ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and say submit for certification, cross my fingers, say yes, and we'll see what happens. Wish me luck. All right, see you guys later.